Yo guys, what is up, and welcome to another episode of Point of View, a show where I sit and talk about my thoughts on issues either in the gaming world or the real world itself outside of political and religious issues. And in today's video, I want to talk about the most recent happenings going on Twitch with DMCA bans, specifically with the Pokimane incident and the whole just chatting meta of sitting and watching TV shows, anime, and movies, and what this could all possibly be leading to. So before we get into any of that, we kind of need to go back in time before Twitch was even considered to be thought of, and before live streaming really was even a thing, and go back to the earliest days of YouTube, like 2006, because this is kind of a history repeating itself type thing, because back in those days when YouTube first started, it was pretty much how Twitch is before all the DMCA stuff, before all the monetization and stuff. So back in those days, like on YouTube, you could watch unedited clips of TV shows, you could watch uncopyrighted music that hadn't been taken down, you could watch, from what I had to understand, you could even watch porn on YouTube at one point, but I cannot confirm or deny that. That was about a year before I started getting on YouTube, and never really came across that stuff, to be honest. But basically, when this all changed, when Google bought YouTube, and once you start monetizing stuff, the thin line of what's acceptable, what's not, starts to be drawn. And we really saw a lot of this with gaming. Some gaming companies got mad, like Konami got mad, Rockstar gets mad whenever you post their stuff on YouTube. We've had recent issues with Persona soundtracks. We've had issues with music being copyrighted. So back in like the Modern Warfare 2 era of montages, using stuff like Linkin Park and just whatever was current at the time. There was a ton of those, especially with the anime videos, had a ton of those soundtracks on there. And once Google bought YouTube, a lot of those videos disappeared because they went against copyright. You can't monetize that. And DMCA kind of came in, it took over, and pulled those videos down. So basically what I'm trying to say is, once you start paying people to put content up on your site, the line of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, you really have to walk it carefully, you really have to tread it carefully, and you really have to get into a mindset of, okay, I could stream games, no problem. Most gaming companies don't care if I stream it, but you have to look at it from the flip side and distinguish that gaming versus watching TV is two completely separate things. Now, you might be wondering what DMCA is and when did it start. So back in like 2001, Metallica sued Napster because people were downloading their music illegally on the internet. If you remember the days of LimeWire, before LimeWire got shut down. That's kind of where this all started. There's a South Park episode on it that kind of depicts it perfectly. It's basically like, oh, they have all this money, but they can't buy the next biggest thing, which, I mean, from a point I can understand why they did it, but that's also at the same time, the internet was really in its infancy at that time, and I think if it would have happened today, it would have been a whole lot bigger of a deal. But again, a lot smaller artists use Spotify to kind of get their music out there so record labels can sign them and stuff like that. So, in a nutshell, I think that DMCA needs to be overlooked at some point in time because things are changing, laws need to be updated, all that stuff. But in a nutshell, DMCA started back in 2001 with Metallica suing Napster. And, I mean, pirating free stuff has been going on way before that. Back with cassette players, you would record stuff off the radio. If you wanted to watch a TV show, you'd probably tape it on your VCR, stuff like that. So this isn't an entirely new thing. This has been around for as long as, at least since the 80s. So, I mean, it's not entirely new. The only thing is the internet makes stuff a lot more accessible than what they had back in the 80s and 90s. So with that being said, what Twitch is doing right now we've already had one DMCA blow up back in 2020 when it came to copyrighted music. There's a whole lot of stuff being taken down. I remember a lot of stuff when it came to Persona-style music was being taken down, and streamers are trying to find ways to get around these copyrights. There's also the whole mindset of any publicity is good publicity. And while that is true, if you have a reputation for trying to bend rules, you also kind of hurt your chances of being signed somewhere else in case something like Twitch does blow up from lawsuits and stuff like DMCA. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword, right? Pokimane was featured in a Polygon article about getting banned. So that's a ton of publicity for her. It's good publicity for her. But at the same time, it's also bad publicity for Twitch because she gets a 48-hour ban. And if this was a smaller content creator, they would just be banned permanently, possibly. So there's fine lines that need to be walked. And, I mean, Twitch is a corporation. If you don't know what corporate America is, it's basically, if you make the company a shit ton of money, you're pretty much untouchable. And that's kind of where problems start to begin on this whole topic. So that brings me into the whole just chatting meta. Just chatting was added to Twitch a couple of years ago, basically, where people just sit and shoot the shit. It's gone through a couple of metas. It went through like the music meta, went through the hot tub meta, now we're in the sit and watch TV show and anime meta. And that's kind of where this is starting to blow up. This is kind of where I see the bubble bursting and where things are about to start getting dirty again between DMCA and Twitch, because you have streamers trying to push the boundaries of what they can and cannot do with their chat. Like, they want to watch TV shows with their chat on Twitch, and they want to make money off of it. Okay. That's fine. You know, you want to watch stuff with people. You know, it's probably fun to watch stuff with your chat, have people react to it as you react to it. But at the same time, there's the other side of the story where, you know, all good things are going to come to an end at some point or another, and this is the beginning of that, in my opinion. There's also two different mindsets when it comes to gaming versus entertainment. So gaming has replayability, whereas entertainment really doesn't have rewatchability unless it's something like really, really good. And my biggest point is like Game of Thrones. I would absolutely rewatch Game of Thrones from seasons 1 to 6. But 7 and 8, I probably wouldn't touch ever again. You see them once, you see the ending, you know what's happened, and it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Because if you know the whole thing around the Game of Thrones ending, you know why people won't rewatch it. So that's kind of where movies come into play as well, because this generation, I feel like, doesn't really rebuy movies once they come out, unless they're absolutely fucking good. But in this age of streaming, when you can just pay, say, $5 for a streaming website to watch movies on, why go out and spend $15, $20 on a Blu-ray? And this is kind of where things are starting to change, and this is kind of where I feel like DMCA is kind of fucked up, and I think that going forward, you know, I think there's going to be another DMCA cleanup of Twitch, and it's coming sooner rather than later. It is going to happen, because companies are starting to catch on. Viacom sees their stuff on Twitch, they're going to pull it. If you're watching anime on Twitch, good fucking luck, because Japanese are going to come after you harder than American companies, I believe. Well, like I said, it's two different mindsets. You have the older generation when it comes to like TV. We're kind of in this in-between, where cable is still relevant because of an older generation, but streaming is the future with the younger generation. And when you have two mindsets that don't meet in the middle, you have issues. And the old mindset is, you're stealing my content, you're stealing money from me, I'm going to sue you and have all that stuff taken off your channel, have your channel removed, and basically you can't make money off my content. And that's where we are with DMCA, with TV shows. Then you have the streamer mentality of, you know, if I get banned for this, my name's going to be put into an article on a news site, and I'm going to get more followers from it because people are going to want to see what the controversy is. People love drama. That's the main thing. Like, people absolutely love drama. and the streamers know what they're doing. And this is kind of a way for them to get a free vacation from streaming as well. But they're also trying to push the boundaries. They feel like we're also in a world of we're untouchable until we are able to be banned permanently. So I think, like I said, it's basically you have the whole crowd of you're stealing my content, and then you have the newer crowd saying we're promoting your content. And you can kind of see it from two different views. On one end, you spend all this money to put production value into a TV show, which making a TV show really isn't exactly cheap, and you want to be paid for your hard work. And then on the other flip side, you have streamers who also put money into their production values on Twitch. They've put the time and effort to grow on Twitch, who see this as an opportunity as, hey, we're streaming your show, we're getting you new viewers who probably wouldn't have watched your stuff to begin with. But on the flip side of that, the people who made the show aren't getting paid for it. It's not like gaming, where people are going to be like, okay, well, if I'm not watching this on YouTube, if I'm not watching this on Twitch, I'm probably not going to go on whatever platform it's on and watch it myself. So, my whole thought process on this, I saw a Twitch post on the Twitch subreddit. How do small content creators feel about the big dogs being untouchable? Honestly, when it comes to stuff like this, I don't give a shit. When you're at the low levels, the main focus should be you. You shouldn't be worried about what other people are doing unless you're trying to collab with them. And small content creators aren't going to be collabing with big content creators. It's a rare thing for that to happen. Like we saw Rich Campbell collab with Rain Kirigani, who was pulling in like 20 viewers before the blow up of 14, and then he did the Ultimates with Rich, and his channel has in turn blown up considerably from where he was before. So I mean, it can happen. You can have smaller content creators interact with big ones, but it's a very rare thing. So my advice is, honestly, if you're a small-time content creator, don't worry about what the big dogs are doing. Just focus on you, focus on your growth, focus on your branding, and stuff like that. Also, it doesn't really affect me. I don't give a shit what happens with the fallout of people watching TV shows on Twitch. I just know that I'm going to keep doing my thing and try to grow from that as well. So, in final, basically, the bubble's going to burst, and it's going to burst quicker than what people think it will, and it's going to be a whole lot messier than what it was with music. I'm just saying that right now. Just Chatting either needs to hurry up and switch its meta off of TV shows and go to something else, or we're going to be seeing another music event from 2020 happening on a much larger scale, in my opinion. And I think that this could lead to some new Twitch guidelines being enforced, and people aren't going to like it because people don't like change. But that's my opinion. This is basically history repeating itself. We went through this on YouTube already, and now we're going through it on Twitch. It's growing pains. It happens. Stuff like this happens. You know, guidelines don't get made ahead of time to prevent something like this from happening. Usually guidelines get made after a big event happens, so stuff like this doesn't happen again. So that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you really enjoyed it, subscribe. And if you have any thoughts about this, leave a comment in the comment section below. Also, I stream on Twitch. I'm trying to stream about 5 days a week. Right now I'm doing Savage content. Really only streaming when I do Savage. But once this is over, I'm going back to my regular schedule of streaming kind of whatever. So follow me on Twitch. Link in the description below. And I will see you guys later.